This is Benchmark Happenings, brought to you by Benchmark Home Loans, with Jonathan Tipton and Steve Reed. Now your host, Christine Reed.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Benchmark Happenings. So today we have a very special guest with us who I am so excited to introduce, Ashley Stewart. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi, Christine. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, you are so welcome. So just for everybody to know, Ashley is typically behind the scenes. She's always running these podcasts. So this is really stepping out of the box for you, right, Ashley?
It is. I'm not much of a public speaker. I like it sitting in the chair over here running the podcast.
So, one thing we like to do is really highlight the fantastic employees that we have here at Benchmark Home Loans working for Jonathan and Steve. And so, Ashley, you are what we call a production partner. And Steve always summarizes it and says, Ashley is the customer contact to the contract. Right?
Correct. Yes. I'm typically the initial person they speak with when they call to the office. Sometimes, they'll talk to Steve or Jonathan first, but they quickly get over to me to talk and kind of get that initial part of their process out of the way.
Absolutely. So let's just pretend that, I'm a client and I'm calling in to Benchmark for a home loan because I really want people to understand the uniqueness of how Benchmark operates. Because if you're looking for a home and you're calling around to lenders and you're asking, what's your rate? What's your rate? Well, you're doing yourself a disservice, right?
Correct. There's so much more to that. Rate is not everything in the mortgage business at all.
It's such a small part, and we are living in some we're going through a period of time in the industry that is different from what we experienced in 2008.
Very, very tough right now.
And yes. I know that Steve and Jonathan both, when clients do call in or when a loan application comes through, they really like for you, Ashley, to start with that client. So what are some things that you're going to typically ask? So if I'm calling in, or if Steve and Jonathan says, hey, Ashley, I need you to call such and such and get some information from them before they have their meeting, what would be some typical things that you would ask, information that you're going to need from that client?
Sure. The first thing I typically like to do is make them feel at home and comfortable and make them feel like we're going to help you. This is not just an application. You're not just a number. You are a person that is wanting to buy a home for your family. And next to your family, the place they live is the most important thing usually in your life. So,
yes.
I like to get to know them. I feel like that helps us to help them better when we know their situation, what their goals are, what their budget is. We never like to push anyone over those thresholds because at the end of the day, they'll be uncomfortable a few months down the road if we try to, do that. So, my first conversation with them is not really even the application part. It's truly like, let me get to know you. Let's see what you have right now, going on and what your goals are and what these look like in the future for you and what you hope to accomplish. Once we talk about all that and we get a lot of that out of the way, and I take a lot of notes, Jonathan and Steve, if they see my notes and they're like, just summarize it for me. I take a lot because, again, I want to get to know clients and be able to help them. And then we get on to the application part.
And let's kind of take a pause right there, Ashley, because I think you really touched on some extremely important information, really key points. We want you to be comfortable. We want to get to know you as a person. We want to know your goals. And you've got a vast array of experience in the industry. You've been here with Jonathan and Steve for how many years now?
Over 2 now.
Over 2 years. And so you did bring a lot of experience to the table from a previous place that you have worked. What is this different? What the conversation we just had about getting to know the client, their goals, is that different from your prior work experience?
Very, actually. I've worked in banking and lending since 2007. Now
Okay.
I'm telling my age. Goodness.
That's okay, but you know what? You've been around, and you
Yeah.
were around for the 2008, so you've
Yes.
got some experience under your belt.
Definitely.
You understand the guidelines, and so tell me a little bit about that, and how you see such a difference, and what really makes Benchmark really head and shoulders above the rest.
First, the people that work here, we all truly care. And I'm not just saying that's not just verbal utterance there. That is truly action in place. We want to make sure that we have people working here that are behind you 100%, holding your hand, helping you through every step of the process and not letting anything fall through the cracks. And we have a team here of people that I can rely on 150%. And that's so important. And I can't say that's like that everywhere. I certainly have never experienced that in all the years I've been working in, banking and lending, is being able to fully and 100% trust that your coworkers have your back and that they are here for the same purpose that you are, to help people. And for me, it's so reassuring because, I leave to go on vacation and I have zero worries that things are being taken care of.
Right.
Jonathan and Steve are out of the office. They fully trust us all to take care of clients and keep their interest, even above our own, making sure that they're, fully happy with what we're doing here.
Right. And having that trust allows you to have the autonomy to make those decisions and to help. And so many places I know in the world we live in today, I mean, I was just an example, I was trying to change my mother-in-law's doctor's appointment. And it was so frustrating because all I got was I called in and it was one prompt after another. I could not get a person just to do something very simple, and then they called me back and left me a voicemail. Well, then I tried to call back and it was just a series of prompts and not being able to talk to a person. What I love about Benchmark is for those people who like to talk to someone on the other end, when they call the number, they're not going to get a series of prompts.
No, we have someone here in the office during business hours every single minute of the day. Even if we've stepped away to eat lunch, we answer the phone for you. We're there. You're not going to speak to an operator or someone just passing your message along. There's someone here every minute of the business day to help you and answer your call and get you what you need.
Absolutely.
And even on the weekends too, Jonathan and Steve are happy to take calls from clients that are needing their help. And, you can't get that anywhere else, 7 days a week service. You just don't get that.
I was going to mention that because I know Jonathan and Steve were on we had a podcast not long ago, and that's one thing we talked about was being able to reach your lender. And really, it's more than a lender. It's a partner. It's a finance partner because it's one of the largest decisions you're going to make. So besides you getting to know that client, understanding their goals, what's their budget? So what are some other pieces of information that you're going to ask?
Most of the information that we collect up front for like their pre-approval process is information that they know off the top of their head. We have plenty of clients that give me their information while driving to pick their kids up from school, or they're on their lunch break, or something. It's information that they readily know and have available. And we may need some documentation for certain things, maybe their income or maybe an explanation on something or some supporting documents up front. But we really try to get the least amount we have to up front, not to work someone too hard before they actually start looking at homes. And but we want to make sure that we're thorough and we do a thorough job on their pre-approval. We do not pre-approve anyone that we do not feel 100% confident that we can have at that closing table. And, I believe that real estate agents especially appreciate that because they trust that our pre-approvals are thorough and we stand behind them.
Yes, we've had many of the real estate agents say to us, if there are several people bidding on a home, because we know our inventory is very low here in East Tennessee, but if they have an approval from Benchmark, That's the one they take.
Every single week, I get calls, even from listing agents. I get calls that are like, hey, I'm just, calling to make sure that you all did send this over. It looks great. We trust you all. You all do such a great job. It's such a great thing to have that confidence and to have that reputation.
Absolutely. Yes. And so what are some big takeaways for those who are listening right now? Because so many people, who's the first person they call if they're going to buy a home?
If I could name just a few things that I would want someone to know going into buying a home, first, it's never too early to start with a lender on looking at your options and getting a game plan. That's what I tell clients, hey, let's look at your game plan. There could be things you have to work on or maybe prepare for. Preparation is such a key thing to do when you're buying a home. Like you said earlier, this is the largest financial transaction that most people ever do. So planning is so important. It's never too early, to get with someone and see what your options are and see what you need to work on. And second, I say this kind of jokingly, but you don't go to the mall on a Saturday with no money in your pocket.
I don't know. Some people might.
I hope there's somebody there to give me money, but there's not usually.
I've tried that a time or two, Ashley. It doesn't work. Nobody's giving me any money.
No, especially for shopping. But so when you go to buy a home, it's really important to have the money to buy that home first. Talking to a lender and getting your options together before you start shopping is so important. You want to be able to know what your budget is and what types of homes that you need to look at and what your payments are going to be. For one, payment to me is very, very important per month. I think that is for the majority of us.
Because we have to budget. We all have to live under a budget. If you don't, life is hard and we all need to be under a budget, but so many aren't. But you're so right about that.
And then too, having someone go out and find the absolute perfect home and then to be told the payment is significantly over their budget is very disheartening. So it's important to have those numbers and that budget worked out prior to going shopping. Again, I don't go shopping on a Saturday unless I know what I can spend.
That's right. I know I've talked with some of real estate agents, and they will not show houses to someone without a approval letter.
Correct. Yes. Most actually won't anymore. They've sort of learned that it's really important to have that financing, or, if they're paying with cash, that's great too. It's important to have that money lined up first. Again, shopping for a home is just not possible if you don't have the money lined up to buy it.
And there are so many options out there today. So what's some of go through the gamut of the different types of loans that we can help a person with, and then we're gonna talk about that just a little bit more, but share some of that with us, Ashley, and what each of those mean.
Sure. We offer a lot of different loan products, and that's something that I work with Jonathan and Steve on with the application process to structure your loan and get you into the right product for your situation. We do conventional loans, FHA loans, USDA. We do a lot of VA loans. Benchmark as a whole is one of the top VA lenders in the country. So veterans, give us a call.
We're very proud of that. We love our veterans. And I will tell you just real quick, if you do come to our office at 4138 Bristol Highway, in the hallway, there is a beautiful American flag. It's made of metal, and every veteran that we have that comes in, we have them sign that flag.
It's everyone's favorite piece of artwork in the entire building. We all love that.
Yes,
it's our favorite.
It's beautiful. Yes, number one VA lender in the country. We love VA loans. I think we do VA loans probably better than any other lender in the country. Is why we're number one.
We do a good job with them. We know the guidelines very well. They are a little bit different than some of the other loan products we offer. And there are a few additional requirements. Don't worry. We take care of those for you, most of them. So it's not anything you have to do on your own. We're very well versed with VA loans, so we do a lot of those. And we do THDA loans, which is a down payment assistance through Tennessee Department Housing Authority. So we do those. Those are great for first-time home buyers, and we do a lot of those. So,
and that really is a supplement to a lot of these houses that are built for individuals that qualify, that can actually, the company actually takes their loan and pays for it. And it's basically a no interest loan. But there's only so many houses for that program.
Oh, that for THDA, those are just down payment assistance products, and they're for any house actually. So a first time buyer can qualify either for $6,000 for down payment assistance or up to 6% of the purchase price. So it's an excellent product for first time buyers. Obviously have to qualify for these products. There are different qualifications for each of them. And that, again, is why talking to a seasoned, knowledgeable lender is so important, to be able to get into the right loan product for you that's going to, be the best for the type of home you're buying and for your overall budget month to month and long term.
And long-term planning. And the other thing I wanted to add on to that too is, so as you are gathering this information, getting to know the client, what are their goals and stuff, you're basically preparing that platform for Jonathan and Steve to step in to work with that client, because it's not just getting a loan. It's actually looking at your whole financial plan.
There's many times that someone will come to us just for a mortgage loan and they walk away with their entire financial portfolio planned for them. Jonathan and Steve have vast experience, and my prior banking experience really, I feel like, helps as well. We can get them over to a financial planner or maybe to someone else that can help them with a different type of loan. Or, we know a lot of people in this area, in this industry or related industries. And they'll walk away with far more information and knowledge and help than they really expected.
Yes. And I also want to encourage those out there who may not have a good credit score.
Credit score is only one part of the puzzle.
It's one part of the puzzle, and you guys can help with that.
We can, actually. We have a very good credit consultant that we can send clients to. We've worked with him for years. I call him a miracle worker because I have seen it with my own eyes.
That is great.
Getting someone's credit up in a week, 7 days.
Oh, my goodness.
And we have a direct line to him. I mean, he doesn't work for Benchmark. He's a third party, but he's fabulous. He's the best in the industry, and he's helped countless clients. And we recommend a lot of our clients over to him. I have to say that, I don't have a number off the top of my head, but a great percentage of clients that come to us are maybe not quite ready at that very moment to buy a house. Maybe they need to save a little bit more money or do this with their credit or do something else. Maybe different income, different job. You just never really know. But we work with them as long as it takes, and we get them to the people that can help them with those things versus just telling them, oh, well, can't do it right now. We want to make sure we can do it. I remember a client we've worked with for 2 years finally closed on a home, and it was amazing.
What a celebration.
It was, and they had worked on things and done things well and stayed in touch with us. We stayed in touch with them. I follow up probably a little too much, but I like to stay in touch. But they were able to finally close on a home, and it was so exciting for everybody.
That is, because it is the American dream, and it is the way to build wealth and have stability for your family, is to own a home.
Stability is so important for a family. I say this a lot to clients. I grew up in a very good home. My parents bought a house when I was a very young child. I grew up in that home. They still live in that home. I went to the same schools with the same friends, and had a very good environment to grow up in, very safe. I knew where every single day I was going home to. And for a child, I think sometimes we underestimate how important that is. It's so important for your family to know where they're going to be at. Am I going to that school next year? Absolutely. We're living in this home. You're going to that school.
Yes. It's very important. And there's so many studies out there and research and lots of statistics and data on home ownership. And how it does create stability for your family. We've actually talked about that in previous podcasts. So love that. And so what's some of the big takeaways, Ashley? So we are so thankful to have you here at Benchmark. We have clients call in all the time. I actually had my personal trainer. You actually was working with him on a loan, and he's like, wow. He's like, man, tell that Ashley said she is awesome. He's like, I love talking with her. We get a lot of that. People who have talked to you, a lot of compliments because you do make it easy You have excellent communication skills, and you do understand the guidelines. And that's something that, you're also licensed.
I am, yes. I actually officially got my license at the beginning of this year, which was exciting.
Congratulations.
That's a tough test.
It is a tough test.
I'm a great test taker, and I was really nervous about it. But yes, I did. I'm licensed. I can, give rate quotes and things like that. But I do depend on Jonathan and Steve to do the majority of that. They have such vast knowledge of the rate market, and they literally look at it all day long. Steve, I jokingly say, like, one of his computer screens is the rate market. That's all he looks at on that screen. That's the screen for that. And I really depend on him to do most of that. But I'm happy to be here. I love my job here. I jokingly told Jonathan one day, I was like, if you fired me, I'll come back the next day. And I love the people here. I feel like that makes, when you love your job and your coworkers, it's not a job anymore. It's something that you actually enjoy coming to every day.
That's right. And we spend so much time at work. How sad that so many people don't enjoy what they do. And what a gift to, we love the culture here at Benchmark. I think it's one of the best, most unique cultures that I've ever been a part of. And I've worked for global corporate companies for over 18 years now. And people matter. The people are everything. And it does make a difference.
It does. And especially for me, I worked for a very long time for a large credit union that had over 1,000 employees. And coming from that to a company with which Benchmark is nationwide, but our local branch here in Johnson City, 10 employees. Right. It's different. It is. It's very different culture, different environment. I love it. And I believe everyone here is here for the right purpose.
I do too. Absolutely. And so with that being said, Ashley, we want to thank you for being on today. And you did great.
Well,
you were not nervous at all.
Oh, they didn't see me back here, I don't think, shaking, but.
Oh, we've got it on video.
Oh,
so
great.
We can also watch the video, Ashley. But thank you for all you do for Benchmark. We love you. And we love your husband, Joey. I got to give a plug for Joey because we do love Ashley's husband.
I jokingly tell Steve and Jonathan that's why they keep me, is so they can keep my husband, because he's pretty awesome. We won't give him the big head.
Well, but no, you are the creme de la creme, and so we love you. We thank you for all that you do. Thank you for taking such great care of our clients, because I feel like, and I also not just feel, but I know, and I know Steve and Jonathan understand this as well. You treat everyone who calls in exactly how you would want to be treated.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
and I really give credit to God for that, because it's not just me saying that I'm a Christian, or it's me really putting that into action every day. And so I want to treat people like Jesus himself would treat people.
Yes.
I'm not perfect at it, and I do make mistakes, but I do try.
We all try, and we can all continue trying, but that kindness and respect and that compassion, and I think the big thing is the empathy.
Oh,
and
thank
and
you.
even if you and those of you that are calling in, it's never too early to plan. Customers I've worked with in the past, I give them a 3 and 5 year plan, and you may have a 5-year plan, and that's okay, but it's never too early to start planning and put yourself on a great path, because if we don't write down our goals, they're not going to happen. So Ashley, thank you. And thank you for helping our clients achieve that dream of owning a home and stability for their families, to just to carry on what our great country was brought here for. So thank you.
Well, I'm happy to do it, and thanks for having me today.
Absolutely.